Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
Anyway, they can. You don't pick up moles if you see one on the ground.
No, and if they change color, consult your doctor.
The video I watched with the mole.
Village Idiom. Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every single week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow but hopefully comedic / interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origin, etc. But we'll also use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And I am out of breath.
Exactly.
How did you do that?
It takes years of practice.
You're just like the Michael Phelps.
18 months of
Michael Phelps lungs kind of guy.
Yeah.
Not like these little lungs. I'm talking massive lungs.
That's a problem if you have oversized lungs, isn't it?
I don't know. I think oversized heart.
Chest. A barrel chest. You ever get that? You're a barrel chest kind of guy.
No, I have. I did have an incident at a Starbucks once.
What?
Where?
How's this going to play into what we're saying?
Well, it was that I brought in my own drinking
barrel
glass, and to which the barista asked me what cup size it was.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, and I blanked out as to what the nature of the conversation was. And I'm like, I know I've put on a little weight, but really? And so I'm thinking to myself, like, this whole, like, I'm like, I don't know, a B, maybe an A, hopefully. She's like, how many ounces is this cup? Oh, that's this. I don't know. Just put coffee in it. I'm going to leave now.
Oh, man, that is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Do you do, speaking of ounces, do you do much cooking or anything? Follow recipes?
I've been loving cooking.
In the grocery store, and you're like, oh, great. Hey,
well, we get stung with a lot of recipes.
Hey, Google, how many milliliters are in a 20-ounce bottle?
Right.
And you're just stuck.
Well, you can go probably 16 ounces in a...
Here's some information.
I guess your goggles. That's enough, Google. Stop.
Hey, Google, stop. 591, by the way, is the correct answer. I had to do that yesterday. I don't know if you could hear that, but she got it.
Oh, good old Google. She's so smart.
She's so smart.
Yeah, well, we get stung on the...
you have a boy Google, don't you?
Yeah, I use the dude Google. Ooh, it's the Dougal. The Dougal.
McDougal. Hey, McDougal.
And anyways, let me finish. We get... You just bound to set that thing off. We get stuck in the thing with... because we're metric in Canada.
Yeah.
Versus many recipes are done. You get them out of the States. Yeah. So yeah, it's all in ounces and half cups and these sorts of things. It's like, well, there's 225 mils in a half cup.
Yeah.
What is that? I don't know. Yeah. It's terrible. So that's our
kind of a mixed bag in
dilemma.
Canada, metric wise. Like
we do.
Most.
How tall are you? 6 feet.
Yeah, exactly. Height and weight is still imperial.
I'm 2 meters.
Yeah.
No.
If you ever actually do hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm 1 meter and 62," you're like,
"You're from Europe."
No idea.
You're from Europe somewhere.
I have no idea how tall you are right now.
Right. Because
I literally visualize a meter stick from elementary school. Okay, I can picture 1 meter. So another one of those minus.
And if I put my foot on well, and the same thing when people hear, well, like, you're weighing kilograms.
Yeah.
I don't know how many kilograms I am. We use pounds and feet, man. We're Camerican or Canamerican or Ameridian or something like that. Something like that.
I'm can.
We forget.
If anyone can.
We're amnesian. Who knows? But when people do use kilograms and meters for referencing those things, it's like you're probably like from Russia or some European place that actually sticks to just meters.
Right. Yeah. We're probably spending too much. We're kind of making a big deal out of nothing here.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of what we do.
It is, right?
What is today's idiom all about?
I think you're going to enjoy the sound bites I have today. So we're going to start with this one right here.
The expression, making a mountain out of a molehill, simply means making a big deal out of a small deal.
So starting right there.
Is that putty?
That is. So we're back to...
is this a series of unfortunate events?
Exactly.
Okay.
So
he's amazing.
What I like about that is it we usually give some clip using the idiom, and then we say, this is how it's used. But he does that for us.
Right.
Making a mountain out of a molehill is simply making a big deal out of a small deal.
Well, and another kind of excellent segue.
Kind of like, it reminded me of the Half a Dozen podcast.
We're just talking for
just
half an hour about nothing.
No,
So
12.
stupid.
It's 12. It's not generally 12. It's a dozen.
Well,
Making a
okay,
mountain out of
here's a
molehill.
more important one that is like, of course, you can't even turn on your entertainment anything without hearing about it right now, is the whole coronavirus.
Right.
And it's like, so you're just like, hey, what's the weather today? Coronavirus. It's like everything. What? The weather is coronavirus.
Yeah,
That's terrible. It's COVID-19 degrees out today. What? And so
I'm hesitant to say it's making a mountain out of a molehill because I just don't know. Like,
right. That's where I was going.
I'm more probably where you were about to say. I'm more like, come on, everybody, give it a rest.
But if you don't take it serious, then you're a massive jerk.
So,
but if you take it serious,
since
you're
we're
like,
recording this is a serious subject.
It's serious.
So serious.
Well, previously I coughed on your microphone just so you know.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Great.
ASMR.
Well, exactly. Where there's part of me that's like, this is getting blown out of proportion, and then there's like another part where it's like, is there something going on?
If you're gonna blow it out of proportion, you blow into your elbow,
your cough pocket.
is that what you
Cough
call it?
pocket.
Sneeze pocket, sneeze guard.
It's just that it will. So
pocket.
cough pocket, caliente cough pocket. So yeah, is this the thing that finally wipes out humanity? Or you're
right.
like, meh.
Right. Well, you know what? Like, there's some people close to us who've had some, like, either they know somebody or they've had to change travel plans.
Right.
I was.
definitely.
I'm 10 days away from a big Canadian music awards thing that I was supposed to go. I was supposed to present an award. I was supposed to rap with another band.
Oh,
And they canceled it. They're getting an online awards show because of the coronavirus scare.
that is unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, well, better safe than sorry. And then part of me going,
No, it's not.
as white as I can, I really wanted to rap.
That's what we need. We some more whappers.
Oh, whappers. So I'm going to use this opportunity to do the rap. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, is it making a mountain out of a molehill? Is it actually a mountain? I don't know.
So have you ever had to deal with moles, though?
I have
Backyard.
My grandfather's,
Not your skin.
my grandma and grandpa's place.
Have you ever had a mole removed?
No, I do have a skin tag on my arm.
How do I?
Yeah, you want to touch it?
I know. I meant the fuzzy animal.
I see.
Or is that still what you're talking about?
When my grandparents had a place in Alberta, and the moles would come through.
Moles or prairie dogs?
I'm pretty sure they're moles.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they would go through in like the garden and whatnot, and grandfather would like feel along the ground with his heel and like press in where the ground was soft. It's like, this is a mole, whatever, and we'd like dig out like a little bit and then put in like a foot trap.
Okay, so I watched a mole trap video today, and it's exactly what you're describing. You don't look for the molehills because that usually means their tunnels are quite deep. You do the heel test and you find a trail along the surface.
I didn't know that from research experience. But these things,
You seen those traps?
Yeah,
6 spikes.
they'll chew their little legs off in order to get out of one.
Well,
So
not
yeah,
if it's through their spleen.
yeah, that's not going to help. But yeah, so
Come back and there's
so
nothing
yes,
but a
so
spleen.
I have killed moles. Yeah.
We had so
And then when they don't die, then they meet the shoveler, and then they do die. Yeah, it was kind of an Alberta-y sort of thing. Yeah, washboard, washboard. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we
You're too
we
short.
have moles in our backyard here a little bit. I mean, we don't have a very big yard, so it's not really a big deal. My parents have an acreage not too far away. They're dealing with moles all the time. But we had a previous house. Remember that townhouse we lived in? Mm-hmm. We went outside once, and we had this sort of elevated welcome mat. It wasn't even a mat. It was a steel, like, designer grid thing. Anyway, doesn't matter. There was this little furry creature under it. And a very tiny mole had gotten himself kind of trapped under it. And,
Oh, man.
And we picked it up. We're petting it. And I told my mom and dad about it. And they were freaking out. But their moles are like the size of a large rat. Like,
Sure.
This thing was,
Is it a vole?
I don't know. You're messing with me right now?
No, apparently I don't even know, but there's a smaller version that is under roots plants and eats them from the bottom up called a vole. Not even. Yeah.
Can you buy them? I'd like to buy a vole.
Thanks, Vanna White.
Boo-doo-doo-doo. But that's a real thing, right?
That's terrible. Yeah.
Anyway, they can. You don't pick up moles if you see one on the ground.
No, and if they change color, consult your doctor.
The video I watched with the mole. The video I watched with
they
the
just
mole,
swallow your tongue
with the mole
great
trap.
Now I'm getting it right now. Way to go! You coroned me right on the podcast.
What if that came to me and they could trace it back to that cough right there?
That would be pretty special.
That'd be awesome. The video I watched with the mole trap, the guy was like, I don't know, there's something about dealing with rodents and then touching the lifeless bodies, and this guy's like, well, it's the next morning now and we're gonna see if we've got ourselves a mole. It's definitely been triggered, and wiggles it out and there's a dead roll. He just pulls it off the spikes. Well, there you go. And he's kind of bouncing it, lifeless body in his hand. And I'm gonna do a few more videos like this. Dead body in his hand. I'm like, I don't
ties his string around it like a yo-yo.
I'm feeling very city folk right now as I watch this. I don't know
if
I
disease right now. Yeah, that's how coronavirus stuff starts. Stop playing with dead moles in the ground.
I know.
you little heck. Having this, I have in Starbucks. This also popped up. Little Starbucks related thing because all the coronavirus.
Yep.
Whatnot. You see a lot of people in our area, not a lot, but more than zero, masking up.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is just an unusual thing.
You weren't here this morning. I was wearing a mask around all morning. I was kind of just being a nuisance, but no, you see that red bandana right there, over there? I was just wearing that. I looked like a criminal.
Nice.
I was like, the Bloods.
Well, this barista had a mask on.
Oh, at work.
Yeah, and so like I heard that like the person's like, "Oh, like you okay? Like why are you wearing a mask?" And then she's like, "It's not. It's a coughing filter." It's so stupid. I'm so sorry I said it.
Coughing filter.
That's a Starbucks coronavirus joke. It's a coughing filter. Anyways, moving right along.
That is funny.
Is way too soon.
There was because it's called Corona. There's been a few Corona beer memes. Did you see the one where it says?
I heard their stock took a plunge.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I believe it. They've kind of been silent through all this, but I saw one, fictionalized picture that says, "Meanwhile in the fridge," and it's just this open fridge, and on the right is like a 12-pack of Coronas, and on the left is all the other food in the fridge wearing masks.
Oh. That's funny. Well, with all of this stuff and making mountains out of molehills, I'm actually curious as to where it even comes from.
Funny you should ask.
I said some words. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind.
Alberta.
Okay, so there you go. Origins
Chilliwack, BC.
Jingle.
I get see.
Before we get into it, I'm going. So we heard from a series of unfortunate events, right?
Yeah.
I didn't tell you that it was to be continued. Here we go.
And it's easy to see how this expression came about. Molehills are simply mounds of earth serving as condominiums for small mammals. And they have never caused anyone any harm except for maybe a stubbed toe if you're being pushed by a bully.
I hate your face!
So
I hate your face.
We've got a little bit going into, we had the intro, now we're going into origins. Putty's helping us out, although he's Lemony Snicket in this case. So the origins, the earliest recorded use of the alliterative, I had to practice saying that and still messed it up. The alliterative phrase, making a mountain out of a molehill, goes back to 1548, which I would have never guessed it being that old. I don't know if you looked all this up, but it was kind of interesting actually, which I think I'm a little bit of a nerd because every time we dig into an idiom, I'm like, I think this next part's really interesting. And then later on, sometimes I'll listen back. I'm like, I think I'm the only one. thinks this. Anyway, in Nicholas Udall's translation of the first tome or volume of the paraphrase of Erasmus upon the New Testament, 1548, excuse me, in the statement it says, the sophists of Greece could, through their copiousness, make an elephant of a fly and a mountain of a molehill. And I had to read that slow because it's all spelt weird Old English like, right? So apparently the comparison of an elephant with a fly that is also in that line was an old Latin proverb that was used all the time. And Erasmus recorded that in his collection of such phrases in the Adagia. But the mountain and the molehill was added by Udall in this phrase and continued as a popular use ever since. And if they're guessing he coined the phrase himself alone, because now I'm just reading this is not my language. The linguistic evidence shows that making a mountain out of a molehill, that language didn't exist. Not the phrase, but the word mole. Did you come across
Yeah,
this?
I did come across that, and I have there's a couple of previous versions that it wasn't a mole.
Yeah, so the word mole was less than 200 years old at that point, and used to be known as wand. W-A-N-D.
Did you get to why it's called a wand?
No.
Okay, so rolling it back even further, that is a short for a wantatump.
No, wantatump is the molehill.
The molehill.
Yeah. So I did get that part because it went from wand, slowly changed to want, and then a molehill was called a wantatump.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Come, they told me.
Wantatump.
A new molehill to see.
Wantatump. So that was used for centuries.
But then it got one more.
Yeah, the former name of want was then replaced by moldwarp.
The moldy warp?
Moldwarp, which sounds like a character from Harry Potter.
Moldwarp? He's got no nose.
The name that should not be
Moldwarp. He had his nose eaten off by a rodent.
By a vole. Voldemort.
The Voldemort.
I think we're on his own.
So
moldwarp, which literally translates to earth thrower.
Yes.
Earth thrower.
I did come across. That's fantastic.
So shorten that down. Mole began to appear in the later 14th century, and the word molehill in the first half of the 15th century.
But that took place in a 200-year span, like this.
Yeah, this evolution of the same phrase.
Right.
But as an idiom, that's the word mole or molehill. But the idiom, first documented, and most likely Nicholas Udall coined the phrase himself.
So it's only 450-ish years old.
Only, that's it.
Yeah, so that's not too bad.
It's almost 451.
That's important.
Moldwarp. Okay, wait, because to be continued continues again.
Mountains, however, are very large mounds of earth and are constantly causing problems, from frostbite to protracted border disputes, hang gliding mishaps, which is why when we call something a mountain, we mean that it is a large amount of trouble.
He's got the voice, right?
Yeah. That's so fun just to have your whole life set up on a voice.
Right?
Yeah.
You brought up the superhero, the Shoveler, which is, I can't remember what movie that is.
Yeah. Yeah, they were all superheroes. The Spleen.
Yeah.
The Shoveler, the Bowler.
Can't think of what the movie was. But
Ben Stiller.
But do you know any mole-related superheroes?
Well, the Underminer.
Right, that was one I remembered. And he looks like a mole.
Yeah.
The Underminer! Yeah, from Disney Pixar. Or not his own. I wonder if he should have his own movie.
Well,
he's at the end of The Incredibles 1.
He's in all the movies.
What?
John Rassenberger.
Oh, the voice.
The voice.
He's in all of them.
He's Ham. He's he's pretty fantastic. I don't know if you could. Well, kind of the second one is really, at least the first half is really related to him. The whole opening of The Incredibles 2.
Yeah, he's at the end of 1 and the beginning of 2.
Here's the Underminer.
Yeah. He's got a great voice. Cliff Clavin.
You think I'm beneath you, but nothing is beneath me.
That's funny. Is that one of his lines?
Something like that.
The Mole Man from Marvel.
Don't know this one.
So he was a fictional character, supervillain, usually fighting against the Fantastic Four.
I got whenever, like the fire guy takes
leading the Moloids.
It's like, I'm gonna burn you off, like, because he's a mole.
With his lance. He only battles with a lance.
Just like, don't you get moles burned off or something? So I can see the Fantastic Flame guy.
Oh, that.
I'm gonna have that mole burned off. You should get that mole removed.
Isn't the Thing part of Fantastic Four? Because I then read that he teamed up with the Thing.
The Rock guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know your
Who
Marvel
follows these
nerds?
Well, okay, so you tell me then.
We should. Well, the Mole Man was also known as Harvey Rupert Elder. He was an American scientist turned villain. The Mole Man is a recurring foe of the Fantastic Four. His schemes usually consisted of trying to rule the surface of the Earth with the aid of his moloids, subterranean mole-human hybrids that he ruled over.
That's not good.
He was a nuclear engineer
moloids.
and fell into a pit.
Sounds like a polyp.
The glare of the diamonds that he fell into caused his blindness. And then he developed, kind of like Daredevil, he developed all his heightened senses and kind of did some karate chops.
It's like everything was going good, and then I had that doctor visit, and I had to have some moloids removed. Sounds like what it is.
Moloid sounds like a curiously strong mint.
It's a moloid. Well, and then there's Avogadro in chemistry. The amount of particles inside of a substance or inside of an atom or something like that. There's like 6 bajillion, 6.02 bajillion, 10 to the 23rd.
What are we talking about?
Moles, like a mole of a substance.
Oh, that's a unit.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
And so Avogadro's number is like 6.02 times 10 to the 23.
Who's Avogadro?
He's some old science person. Don't get technical with me.
You lost me somewhere here.
Avogadro.
So that's the scientist's name.
Yeah, it's like saying that the speed of light is like 290 whatever.
But he's saying the speed of a mole?
No, it's the number of particles in a mole of a substance.
But what's a mole?
Avogadro's number.
Yeah, but Avogadro's the guy.
Who's on first?
What are we measuring with a mole?
The number of particles in a
the
mole.
number of particles are in the mole, but the mole is a unit of measurement for what?
I hear your question. That's great. Because doesn't it change based on like weight and density? Someone's going to have to look this up for us.
Doesn't what change? Like, is it the
amount of particles inside of a substance?
So a mole is measuring the number of particles, or that number is the number of particles in a mole?
The number of particles in a mole of a substance.
So we don't know.
It's the weight of something or the
weight.
Volume.
Is it weight?
It's either weight or volume. I would guess density would be a big deal.
I so want to ask our Google friend, but it'll give us some crazy answer.
And so there's an actual thing called Mole Day, which is October 23rd.
Really?
Yeah. At 6:02, between 6:02 a.m. and 6:02 p.m.
Is that because of the number?
Yes.
Matches
10 to the 23rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mole Day. Not quite as interesting as like Pie Day, but same vein.
You eat mole, trap moles, get your moles removed or checked.
That was that Austin Powers. Mole. Like the guy had the big mole on his face.
Yeah. Don't say anything about his mole.
Mole. Yeah, so that sort of thing is interesting.
Cool.
The mole of something. Sciencey. And then on it got me thinking about the size of like mountains, because we're in the Northwest and so we have the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah.
But our like biggest, tallest mountain in the Rocky Mountain range is only like 4,300 meters.
No idea.
4,300 meters. Yeah. In actuality, whereas like Mount Everest is double that.
Wow.
Yeah. So like Everest is in the 4,300 meter. Oh no, the 8,800 meter zone. 29,000 feet for our American friends.
Wow.
And then the smallest mountain.
Okay, at the risk of seeming stupid, where's Everest again?
The Himalayas. It's on the edge of like Tibet, China.
Okay,
that range.
Oh yeah, I can picture the guys leading the.
Yeah, and then the smallest one, because sometimes
the smallest mountain.
Yeah,
how small can a mountain be before it's a hill? Well, what's that movie? The Englishman that went up a hill and came down a mountain.
I don't know about that, but the answer is really stupid. So the Jing Mountain in Shandong province in China is 0.6 meters.
That's not a mountain.
Exactly. There's got to be a line where you go, that's not a mountain anymore.
That's my upstairs bedroom.
Right. It's like walking up a flight of stairs is more.
Yeah.
Half a meter. Isn't that ridiculous?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. That can't be right.
And so there's a mountain in Australia that it had 140 or something like that meter elevation above the plateau where it is.
Yep.
So, but in the end, it was only like 400 and something meters of elevation, period. But it was such and such a mountain.
I did learn what the largest mountain was before they discovered Everest.
Okay.
Still Everest. Just hadn't been discovered.
Nice. That's one of them brain teasers.
Nah, it wasn't his father. It was his mother.
Right. the kid in the hospital tale?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, these, because people will say like, oh, like the mountains, the mountain range, but from where we are, mountains are actual mountains.
Oh, yeah. They're snow-capped. It should be able to attract snow.
Yeah.
You're not a mountain unless you're snow-capped. How about that?
There's got to be something like that.
Yeah.
It should be a minimum.
It should be, an elevation or the degree of slope. Not to get too technical, but how quickly it
How many
elevates.
moles?
How many moles? How many...
The
what
molar.
was his name? What's the guy?
Avogadro.
How many Avogadro moles? How many moles did Avogadro have? Oh, man. I hope he was just
6.02.
mole covered and raised moles as pets.
Mole. Mole.
Everybody just considered him the crazy guy covered in moles who also raised moles, and then he becomes a scientist. What are you going to call your new unit of measurement?
They're like, please don't call it a mole.
Please don't call it a mole. Please just call it the
I'm
Avogadro.
gonna call it the mole. Ah, it's disgusting. Have you seen this guy? So in the in science world, there's just a few of these fun numbers, but he's got one. An Avogadro. Which are delicious in
guacamole.
in guacamole.
Mole. Guacamole.
Oh, there you go.
What?
Wow, Avogadro and a guacamole. There's a joke in here somewhere that we...
Avogadro, avocado, guacamole.
Guacamole? Oh.
Okay.
It sounds like a terrible song.
We're idiots.
This is how 30 minutes disappears from your life.
Okay, hang on.
Vice Principal Nero described the shack where the Baudelaires were living. He was not making a mountain out of a molehill. If anything,
Small. Even for a shack.
he was making a molehill out of a mountain.
There you go. That's the end of my clip.
That's nice. That's a good little string.
Four-parter.
Well, glad you snuck that one in because we got to be wrapping things up here. We're heading into the final stretches with some Riddle Links.
Alrighty, Riddle Link is a game we like to play that takes a two-part trivia-based question and requires a two-part but overlapping answer. So, for example, last week our idiom was to cut the apron strings. We had your lovely mother here with us, which was super fun. And the Riddle Link we left everybody with was you can make a mountain out of... nope, that's today's. Where is it? Keep your cloth diaper on with this and wear the same apron as Dorothy Gale. So keep your cloth diaper on with safety pin.
Pinafore.
That's it. Safety pin, pinafore, safety pinafore is the correct answer.
Very nice.
You got it.
Classic. Well, let me get one rolling with you here.
Okay.
You make too much out of nothing. That's worth nothing.
Wow. So make a mountain out of a molehill worth nothing. Hill of beans? Make a mountain out of a molehill of beans?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's another idiom, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Ain't worth a hill of beans?
A hill of beans. We'll have to get into that another day.
All right.
Good. You got one for me?
Yep. Let's start with this one. You can make a mountain out of this first lady, Miss Rodham.
Wow. You can make a mountain out of this. Well, I know who she is. I'm just... tell me one more time.
You can make a mountain out of this. First lady, Miss Rodham.
Mountain out of mole Hillary.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that's it.
I was going the other way around. I was like, Hillary Clinton something.
Yeah. Mole Hillary.
Ton of bricks.
Mole Hillary.
Yeah. Okay, good. I got another one for you here. All right.
Do you?
Yep.
Are you sure?
What the Wantatump was replaced by for the science fiction faster than light engine.
Faster than light engine? Am I going to know the answer to this?
Sure.
Do we talk about it?
No.
Oh,
but it's just...
So a Wantatump is a molehill, except you had a different definition.
The Wantatump was replaced by...
Molehill.
It's the next thing after the Wantatump.
Oh, moldwarp. Moldwarp, well, you're Your riddle link is incorrect. Wantatump was the molehill. Moldwarp was the animal. But anyway, I get where you're going with this. Moldwarp speed?
Yeah, Moldwarp drive.
Voldemort speed?
Yeah, that'll get it done. Good job.
Okay, I got one more, but this one's difficult. I'm warning everybody. Difficult as in
use facts.
You can get this, but you'll probably have to Google it.
All right.
But why don't you tell everybody how they can get involved, how they can answer, they can tell us about their encounter in the wild with a vole or mole or Voldemort.
We love hearing from you in all of these things. You can reach us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or on email at thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at 3 Minutes Gone.
Perfect. Awesome. Here is the one for everyone else. You can... This 1969 song by the Rolling Stones is the Old English word for molehill.
There you go. I hope you were paying attention. It was a fun one putting together. We enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed listening to it. I am Skinny.
I am Jurassic Chud Mark.
Chode. And these are the Village Idioms.
Making mountains out of molehills.
That's 3 minutes gone.